We're back again with Neko Nation Japan. We're getting into this series of dividend investing. This is 2019, last year. We really get into some interesting things and stuff starts to snowball, which you'll definitely see here. Jumping right over, we're going to look at the total dividend payment of 2019 from January 1st to December 31st of $652.46. That's up from $400 of last year, so that's up by $250. Not too bad, right? And look at this jump in overall stock value. So I guess estimated value. You don't actually get this unless you sell, which I hopefully never plan on doing. So we have a total of $6,198 advance on this. So getting right into it, we're going to look at what exactly happened over this series of 2019. All kinds of crazy things happened. It's a lot of fun, and I think it would be a really interesting episode for you to take a look at. Getting right into this, a little bit different this time around. So we have AT&T. I bought some more shares. We now have 57 shares. We have Apple, same as always. But look at it, we jumped up. We bought a few more shares. Totally wish I should have bought a lot more shares at that point. But at that time, we had this 3,000 in, and that was more than any other stocks except for the Dow DuPont and Morris, which we'll get into a little bit here. So we had at that point, last year, we had the Dow DuPont company, which has since in 2019 I had 15 shares of it, as then split into 5 shares of this Corbitia, I don't know how to spell that, company, the CTVA, which also is a decent dividend payer. So I bought so I have 55 shares of that. 55 shares I bought of Dow, and 55 shares of the Dow DuPont Dynamors. And all three of these companies are pretty good dividend payers. Some a little more than others, but each one of them has so I figured since I had 15 original, it split into 5 of each, and then I just bought 50 more shares of each, and the Dow pays a pretty good dividend, so I ended up getting a few more shares of that throughout that year. And then I have just ExxonMobil Corporation, a good dividend paying company. Probably within the next 5 years or so, I might think about selling some of those shares because I can't see the height of this, the ICE cars, if you will, internal combustion engines being around for that long. But it's going to pay me some nice dividends throughout the next time. So I'm going to hold on to those as long as that. If I start to see that model start to falter, I'm just going to sell them off. That is my long-term goal for that. But Johnson & Johnson, awesome company. 10 shares of that. McDonald's Corporation, still, I bought the 7 shares. I totally wish I bought more. But this is what it is. Microsoft, 15 shares there. Procter & Gamble was at 11.8 shares. Just every Southern company, 22.7 shares, just going up and up. 3M, it's kind of that I wish I probably still got about it. But this is also in my Roth account, which this is kind of the set amount. I haven't really been adding any more to this. So this is what I have in that account. I'm not adding any more. I really should be, I suppose, but I want to see how much I can grow this account without adding to it. I kind of get a unique situation at the moment where I don't really have any more income in the States, so it's not really a problem. So I have the public storage that's slowly going up as well. All right, so getting into each individual companies and how much it's gone up since this whole thing started. So AT&T, I bought some more shares of that, so I went from 25 to 57. I believe I bought like 25 shares of that, so, and then it's just been paying dividends and getting more and more shares from there. Apple, I bought some more of those, so I bought an extra 13 shares of that, or actually four, yeah, somewhere around there, 13, 14 shares, and now I have 21, and eventually next year, which I'll show in a few more episodes what happens there, which is pretty cool. Um, Coca-Cola, I bought up to 55 shares, and then just paying pretty good dividends since then. So these are the three. This is the whole interesting thing that happened in 2019. So what we have here is Dow. It was Dow DuPont. These two were one company. So then they split it off into three different companies. So they have this corporate that's all heavy machinery and kind of interesting there. It's kind of like a Caterpillar kind of thing, but they service a little bit different clientele. Um, we then have Dow Chemical. That I just bought some more shares of that. I had 5 of each, but I started out the year with 0 and 15.5. So I just said, okay, 15.5, and then it split in 5, 5, 5. And then from there, I ended up buying up 50 shares of each. And throughout the year, you see what happened here. So I started each with 55 shares of each one of these, and the DuPont, Nemours, this company, another chemical specifically. They few shares here, nothing too bad. Um, Exxon Mobil, that's just slowly paying there. I get another share of that. It's not bad. So as you can see, I ended up buying more shares of a few different companies. Most of these are just what have we seen from the dividends. So from Johnson & Johnson, it goes from 10.4 or 5 if you round out to 10.7. So really basic acquisitions and shares, just 0.1 here. This one's not bad, 0.2. Yeah, about 0.2. It's really a slow growing process in the beginning when these particular companies that I don't have very many shares are of. So I wanted to get this nice distribution of general companies that I really like, that are big, stable companies. I do a little speculation next year based on a few companies that have dropped considerably because of the whole virus infection pandemic. But that's okay. All these are basic good companies that have maintained the dividend pretty much throughout the entire process of this year. They were last year paying all great, and they were going better and raising their dividends and doing everything they need to do. So from starting this Roth account, I put in 28,542. It's been a total of 2 years. The total in value of this account has gone up to $35,880 and 0.27 cents, which is pretty good. It's gone up about $6,000 in 2019. I put more money. I bought more securities this year. The dividends invested only counts them. I have everything automatically reinvested. The best way to do it. I don't. Everything's handled for me. I don't have to deal with any of it. My ending balance that I have left in cash in this account is now only 4,000. So put another 12,000 in, and so almost everything's taken care of as far as that goes. With that, I really want to get a little more into each particular security. Obviously, in this account, I have limited funds because I'm going to keep it to the 28,000, and I probably should put some more money in there eventually. It really should be another 5,000 at the minimum every year, but at the moment, I don't really have any taxes in the States. So I have some other accounts that I'm going to go through starting in the next video, but it doesn't really matter. The only limitations now is that with the Roth account, I can't touch any of that money until I'm retired, which is going to be in some time. But at that particular time, these accounts are going to be huge. They grow quite a bit every year, and I can look forward to them growing even more. With that, thank you very much, and sayonara.